The Brainerd City Council passed an ordinance prohibiting camping within city limits. The ordinance bans camping on public property except where it is expressly allowed. Many members of the public voiced their opinions on the ordinance at yesterday's council meeting and the effect it would have on those experiencing homelessness. Reporter Sammy Holliday has more.
A total of 15 members of the public spoke at the public hearing for the ordinance prohibiting camping in Brainerd. The criminal penalty for a violation will be a misdemeanor. Under Minnesota statute, a misdemeanor could result in a sentence of no more than 90 days or a fine up to $1,000 or both. Brainerd Police Chief John Davis stated during the council meeting that fines would not be that high, stating that a fine would reach a total of $135. During the public hearing, Ed Shaw, a local attorney, pointed out that even a misdemeanor conviction would still make people required to check a box on applications that read, "Have you ever been convicted of a crime?"
You're not sleeping in a park or in the woods if you're doing well. You're at the edge of society. You're doing very badly. And you're making it even more difficult to get a job, to get a housing. Oh, you're a criminal. You've been convicted of a crime. You're at the bottom of the list.
Bill Weir, who is the shelter manager for the Bridge on 7th, which operates from September through April, had concerns that the ordinance could drive the unhoused to communities that aren't equipped to handle them,
such as Nisswa, Pequot Lakes, Little Falls, Pine River, communities that do not have the resources to deal with this. And being that Brainerd is the county seat, this is where people need to come to get resources. We are afraid that those people are going to fall through the cracks.
Tad Johnson, a Brainerd resident, spoke in favor of the ordinance, citing that it was time to do something different regarding the homeless issue and that the ordinance would help get the homeless population out of unsafe living environments.
We need to look out for the most vulnerable members of our society the most. Like, that's our duty as citizens. So to be compassionate is to crack down on unsanitary living conditions. We've tried the current policy for years and the problem's only getting worse. So that in itself kind of says it's probably time to try something different.
Councilmember Kara Terry and Tiffany Stenglein voted no on passing the ordinance. Terry said it would be better to push voting on the ordinance back until the overnight shelter in Brainerd opened so the unhoused would have a place to go. She also mentioned that the city should look into issuing administrative citations rather than misdemeanors. The city has an administrative citation process in place for other violations, mainly nuisance issues.
Housing and services to end homelessness work. Tickets and arrests do not. It seems that we do adopt the idea of not criminalizing some things in our city, and I would propose we do the same for this issue of homelessness until we can provide evidence-based solutions we know that work.
Councilmember Jeff Chesak, as he did in the last city council meeting, stated that this ordinance is intended to help people. He also disagreed with the term criminalization of the homeless and that the ordinance would give police officers the tools they need to keep people safe.
It's not going to be like this stormtrooper throwing out the dragnet across the city to corral everybody up and send them down to the jail. It's just not going to happen. And it's a little disappointing, to say the least, that I sit here and I feel like I'm suffering from the disease of being virtue signaled. We're not trying to criminalize people. We're trying to help our police to do the job that they're not able to do without this ordinance. Call it what you want. Call it criminalizing people. It's not going to do that.
Reporting in Brainerd, Sammy Holliday, Lakeland News.
The ordinance will go into effect 1 week after publication in the Brainerd Dispatch, which is expected to be this Saturday.
Lakeland News is member-supported content. Please consider supporting Lakeland News today.